Hello and welcome to the 2020 election between Donald Trump and Michael Bloomberg. Michael Bloomberg is the current mayor of New York City and is a possible candidate to run for 2020. Before we start the video, go subscribe and click that bell button to get notified when there's new videos that come out, and by the end of the month I hope we could hit 50 subscribers. So far, we're halfway there. We went from last month at 38, and now we're at 44, so we're 6 out of the 12 more that we need. And by probably, if we do hit 50 this month, maybe 65 for the end of March. We'll see what happens by the end of this month. But let's get into this. So we're going to start out with the safe states: Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, the Dakotas, Nebraska, except that one district, Kansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, South Carolina, and Alaska. We're going to move into Michael Bloomberg's safe states: California, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Maryland, District of Columbia, Illinois, Hawaii, New York, his state, Virginia, not Virginia, Vermont, and that first congressional district in Maine. So Trump with 125 and Michael Bloomberg with 140 electoral votes. We're going to move into Trump's likely column now, with Trump carrying the state of Texas, Georgia, North Carolina, Ohio, and Iowa. Texas, I just can't see Michael Bloomberg even just appealing to people there, especially Democrats. Personally, I don't think he would do well, just because most of the Democratic Party has been vilifying the top 1%, and Michael Bloomberg has over $50 billion, and he's one of the richest people in the world currently. He would have a lot of campaigning ability with the amount of money he has, and he also runs what's it called? A bunch of businesses in Bloomberg News. I just can't see him really getting those progressive voters out, especially in Texas, where Beto O'Rourke did really well. Georgia, where Stacey Abrams did really well. Usually progressives do really good in the Midwest. I don't think he would be able to, because of how he is as a person. Like, not by like what he does, but what he has. I think they're just going to really not come out for him just for that reason. So let's move in now to the likely column for the Democrat Michael Bloomberg: Oregon, West Virginia, Washington, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, and New Mexico. So these are just closer states. Washington, because there's a lot of progressives there, and they just wouldn't come out for him. It would just narrow it out a little bit. Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware were also in the likely column in 2016, along with New Mexico and Oregon. These are just closer states, but I would assume that they would go either way, no matter who's really running in the Democratic column. This is just like by how much they would win by. So now Trump taking the lead with 218 electoral votes to 188 for Michael Bloomberg. Now let's go into the lean column for the Republicans. The state of Florida would easily go to Trump. In the midterm election, the Republicans flipped the Senate seat and held the governorship, but lost two counties in the House election. It really showed that Republicans just held on there and expanded in the Senate and held their governor's seat, which was expected to both the governor's seat expected to go to the Democrats, and the Senate seat expected to hold by Bill Nelson, but it didn't happen. And it just shows that Trump's just kept his supporters there, and I think it would carry on into 2020. Another state I could see in the lean column is the state of Arizona. This is just a little bit of a closer state out of the Republicans. Trump doesn't really appeal too well here. It's also having shifting demographics with more Hispanics, which vote more Democrat, not Republican. Around 30% of Hispanics do vote Republican, and about 65% vote Democrat, and 5% vote either way or independent. In the state of Wisconsin, I could see it going also to Trump, just turning off a lot of progressives to vote for Michael Bloomberg. It'd be very hard for him to win up here, even though he might try to show that he wants more taxes and other policies against the rich. I just can't see him doing too well here, just because of how much money he has and the Democratic progressives turning him off. Trump is now 2 electoral votes from being reelected. I actually forgot to consider that 2nd congressional district into the likely column. So now it's actually 1 electoral vote away from being reelected. We're going to move back into the Democratic column. I'm not going to announce any more Republican gains yet. In the state of Colorado, I can't really see Michael Bloomberg doing too well in the South Sun Belt. He would just keep it probably at a Hillary Clinton margin there, as well as the state of Virginia. He would just turn off a lot of progressives, and Hillary Clinton also had Tim Kaine running with her, but I don't know how much that affected her in the positive way there. So I could just see him carrying it in the lean column. Barack Obama carried it in the lean column both times as well. I could also see him carrying Maine Maine at large. The reason for this, he has a really good northeastern appeal, and I just see it being hard for Trump to carry it against really any candidate. I could also see Michael Bloomberg carrying. We're going to move into tilts now. I could see him also carrying the states of Minnesota and the state. Actually, yeah, I could see him carrying New Hampshire and the lean column just because of that northeastern appeal. Minnesota would go to the tilts. He just doesn't have that progressive support. I could see he would be very good with liberal and moderate Democrats, but he would just turn off a lot of progressives in that sense. We're going to move back into the Republicans column now for Donald Trump. I can see Trump carrying the state of Pennsylvania in the lean column, even though it's this is actually really controversial. If it's a northeastern or midwestern state, I would consider kind of both, but I could see this just edging out for him into the lean column, just expanding a bit on 2016. He would just turn off a lot of those urban area voters that are usually more on the progressive side, especially in the Philly areas and Pittsburgh areas, and even in the city of Erie. He would just not be able to do too well there. We're going to move now into the tilt column for the Republicans. I could see Trump carrying the state of Nevada just because I can't see Michael Bloomberg doing too well in the Sun Belt, and Trump didn't do too bad there. He was actually suspected to win there. It was very close in 2016, and he'd possibly be able to flip it. This is really a 50-50 shot. I just see him having a more likely chance. And in the state of Michigan, just turning off a lot of those progressive voters, and Detroit, I just can't see him doing too well. And then also turning off a lot of the suburban progressives in the Midwest. It would just be very hard for him. It'd be a very hard uphill battle. Oh, I actually forgot Maine, Nebraska's second congressional district. That would be in the lean column. I can't see him appealing there either. Maybe a little bit, but it'd be hard. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and if you have any suggestions or any videos you would like me to make, just put it down in the comment section. Bye.